my moves and I'm a head up bobbing. Don't calm down like the life in Compton. Show him my notches, tell him what he not is. Do I need help? Now tell him that I got this. I'm a grown man, age golden. Depend on nothing but my own hand. West of the map, I was born to attack. My hat to the back when I go in.
What's going on, everybody? My name's Hajilicious, and welcome back to my prediction series. Today, we're going to take on the Week 2 NFL matchup of the Atlanta Falcons at the Oakland Raiders. But first off, let's get into the Raiders just coming off a 35-34 win against the New Orleans Saints in their house. This game was one of the only way I can classify this is under the Raiders call tag of just win baby, because that's exactly what it was. It was hard fought, it was gritty, it was ugly, it was full of penalties and injuries, but somehow, some way, the Raiders got it done today. That game started off kind of in the Raiders' favor. They won the coin toss deferred to halftime. First possession, Bruce Irvin got a third down strip sack of Drew Brees. Fumble recovered by Jihad Ward. Right there, the Raiders were in business. They started that drive around the 25-30 yard line, but as good as that was, the Raiders offense kind of stalled early, settled for a field goal and a 3-0 lead early on. The Saints offense turned it back around, marched down the field, but the Raiders defense did a really good job, held them to another 3. It kind of traded points back and forth there. Amari Cooper had a couple big catches after that, 34 yards on the next drive. Latavius Murray got the touchdown, 6-yard touchdown on that drive, brought the Raiders to 10-3. You know, it was kind of back and forth there, but eventually the Raiders did punt, and Drew Brees capitalized on that with Willie Smith beat Sean Smith up the sideline for 49 yards. And then it was a 1-yard touchdown. He got to the 1-yard line. There's one, and then he finished off with a 1-yard touchdown after that. Sean Smith has been a great addition to this team. He's the cornerback we need, but he had some problems in this game. He got burnt by Brandon Cooks and Willie Snead on 2 separate occasions, one going for a long touchdown. And Sean Smith spent pretty much the majority of the game on the bench. He didn't play the last 2 quarters, I don't believe. Jack Del Rio benched him, which, putting DJ Hayden back out the starting lineup is sketchy, but these guys need to learn, they can't. Sean Smith has a bad habit of trying to go for the pick or the big hit and then getting burnt and blown up, and you can't do that against the Saints. You have to play disciplined football against Drew Brees, or he's going to make you fucking pay, and that's exactly what he did. DJ Hayden, man, that guy had so many goddamn pass interference calls. The whole team, false starts, pass interference, fucking encroachments, neutral zone infractions, fucking everything. They were over 10 for this game. But one problem here that I had was we lost Austin Howard over the course of training camp here. He went down. And then in this game we lost Gabe Jackson for half a second. He was out for a little bit. And then Mike McCants went down. So there was a point where the Raiders had all 5 healthy linemen that they had suited in the game at one time. That's not good. You do not want to be in a situation like that. Our very vaunted, high-profile offensive line went from elite to paper thin in less than a quarter. Because I want to say at one point in the game that they had Kalichio Samele at left tackle. Gabe Jackson came back in at left guard. Rodney Hudson was at center. John Feliciano was at right guard. And Donald Penn slid all the way over to right tackle. Not exactly the ideal line or the ideal setup that we wanted for this. But, man, I don't know how they did in the fourth quarter of this game. Because the fourth quarter of this game was... this turned into a shootout, just back and forth touchdowns. Defense is kind of getting blown up on either side of the ball. But the fourth quarter came around, and as a Raiders fan, this team has hurt me so many times. So many years this team has disappointed me. And I remember sitting during the fourth quarter watching this as we're down. And, they're driving back on their last drive, their game-winning drive that they had. It was this feeling that we can't win this. We're not going to win this. It's a feeling I've had many times watching the Raiders because they haven't been able to prove to me that they can, go in and win this. Because this setup was almost exactly like last year's season opener. It was a 10 a.m. game on the road in a very hostile environment in Cincinnati, and the Raiders got mauled and left there 0-1. They, it was one of those games where, like, nobody likes an ugly win, but I'm fucking sick and tired of having to just deal with pretty losses. Like, oh, we were competitive. We hung in there. We almost had it. No, fuck that. Today they came and got it. And that was the stark difference between all the other games. Like 10 years, for the last 10 years, since 2002, for fucking longer than 10 years, since 2002, this is a game the Raiders would have lost 100 out of 100 fucking times. They didn't have the moxie, the talent, the willpower, the determination to go pull off a win like that. Their last, like I said, that last drive was something of fucking magic. Michael Crabtree. I mean, here's the thing. This is not the type of calls the Raiders make. Like, they were behind in the fourth quarter. They get their touchdown. They're behind 34-33. All they have to do is kick an extra point to tie it up. But Jack Del Rio had some other ideas. The Raiders were going for 2. That's what they were doing. I was sitting here like, oh, fuck. Like, this is how we're going to fucking lose this game. Because I was like, I don't have faith in us getting this. They have to prove it to me first. They lined up to go for it, and then they called a timeout. So initially I thought, they were going to try to pull them off sides, try to do anything. Try to, just kind of see what kind of looks they were going to give them. If they didn't like it, go, kick a field goal. We're going to take this to overtime. But Derek Carr stayed out there, and he was going for Michael Crabtree, a jump ball, 100% of the way, stared him down. I mean, he might as well put up a fucking sign that said, Crabtree jump ball. Like, it was telegraphed. Like, he put it the only place where Michael Crabtree could run up and get it, jump up and get it. He got it, pulled it down, and the Raiders have a 35-34 lead. Unfortunately, Crabtree did have a little celebration in the end zone that cost a penalty onto the ensuing kickoff. And it wasn't really, the game wasn't over yet. There was still 44 seconds left. The Saints drive started on their 23-yard line, and 2 plays, well, minus a spike. Breeze connected to Willie Snead for 13 yards and 21 yards, and had the Saints on the Oakland 43-yard line in position for a 61 field goal that their kicker Lutz missed left by not a lot. It wasn't, I wouldn't even call it wide left. It was like narrow left. But it was a very, very interesting game. That was the game I do not see the Raiders winning. I had picked them to win this game 24-17, but the situation that they got themselves in with all the injuries and the fucking bonehead penalties, just not exactly the game I expected. I mean, Drew Brees threw for 423 yards and 4 touchdowns with no interceptions. Fucking Willie Snead blew us up for 9 catches for 172 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks had 64 catches for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Derek Carr threw up 319 yards and a touchdown with 2 two-point conversions. Amari Cooper had himself a fucking day. Still had a drop on one of his plays, but he had 6 catches for 137 yards. And then little Jalen Richard. This guy has solidified himself. I don't know where the fuck they put him on the depth chart, because it's at running back, it's Latavius Murray, DeAndre Washington, and Jalen Richard. Jalen Richard from Louisiana, home state, kind of a home game for him. Making his NFL debut. His first carry, he took 75 yards to the house, up the middle of the Saints defense. He finished the game with 3 carries for 84 yards. Boy, that fucker had himself a game. But I'm kind of dragging this on a little bit here, so let's get on to the Falcons game next week. This game, the Falcons just came off a loss. Fucking goddamn. The Falcons just came off a loss, 31-24 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had themselves, one of the more uglier games today. Lots of penalties. I mean, I can't really talk because the Raiders had a shit ton of penalties today, but they were another team shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. They just the Buccaneers just look like a better team out there today. It is one of those games when you watch, and even though the Falcons were keeping competitive, they just couldn't get it done. They had no pass rush, which has kind of been an issue for them over the last couple years. I think their starting linebacker set was Vic Beasley, and they had a rookie in the middle, and then they had what the hell is his name? Devondre Campbell at the weak side linebacker. And Beasley was kind of rotating in and out. Phillips Wheeler and Sean Witherspoon came on in the second quarter. It was just they were trying to shove anybody in at linebacker to do fucking anything, but they were getting lit up. Just, tight ends will fucking destroy bad middle linebackers. As a Raider fan, I know that for goddamn fact. Another problem that the Falcons had was red zone. Like, they couldn't get shit done in the red zone. 3 of their 4 trips stalled. One of them ended in interception. 2 of them ended in field goals. And that was one of those things. The Raiders from a couple years ago is what I'm going to compare this to, was a team that just kept taking field goals, taking the 3. I understand you don't want to leave points on the field, but you need to get touchdowns. You cannot win a game against, you can't go out there and win a game by fucking kicking field goals. Like, you rarely do. Like, just, kind of tough shit. This game coming in, man, initially, I had this game chalked up as a loss, but after kind of seeing where the Raiders are at and where the Falcons, who have appeared to have regressed a little bit, and Matt Ryan's not out there making any plays and making bad decisions, I have a feeling this game is going to be a penalty fest, like probably 20-plus penalties. Like, I'm not even shitting you. Like, there's probably going to be 20 penalties in this game on both sides. Like, it's bad, undisciplined team. I look for the Raiders, especially the way the Raiders ran the game against the Saints today. And one problem I have about the way that the Raiders operated in that game was in the first half of the game, the offensive play calling was fucking atrocious. Bill Musgrave, he's one of those guys that doesn't get credit when he does something wrong, when he does something right, but catches a lot of fucking heat when he does shit wrong. And the problem is he loves screen pass, he loves dumps, he loves those plays that you put the ball in your player's hand, you let him do all the work. Let him scoot around and, break tackles and get upfield and shit like that. But there were so many times, third and whatever, fourth and whatever, he's throwing these dump passes and he's not throwing the ball down the field and he's not letting Carr use his arm. And it wasn't until the fourth quarter when Derek Carr started airing it out and started to do his little gunslinger thing, and lo and behold, he leads the Raiders to a win. Next week, I kind of see the same thing happening here. I'm gonna pick the Raiders on a win. I'm not gonna. I got 11-5 as a season prediction, so I do have a lot of wins here to guess. But this is gonna be a home game. The Coliseum is gonna be fucking rocking. After coming in 1-0, the first time that they won their first game of the season since 2005, I want to say, is what I was reading. But the Raiders need to come in. They need to clean themselves up. They need to stop with the bullshit penalties. They need to start, Sean Smith needs to play himself a game, because if you try to overcommit on Julio Jones, he is going to fucking torch you something silly. We don't have as elite of a quarterback on this team. We're not facing Breeze. We're facing Matt Ryan. So I really look for Ryan. I think Ryan's going to throw a couple picks, at least one. Hopefully, and I haven't checked the injury report yet, but hopefully the offensive line's back in shape. And credit and kudos to Mike Tice. That guy has that offensive line trained up so goddamn well. Like, the non-talked about MVP of the Raiders-Saints game was Kelechi Osemele. That motherfucker from left guard is a road grader. Road grader. I'm going to repeat that one more time. A fucking road grader. That guy, you go look at highlights from any of the big runs that happened in that game, and you'll see KO 15, 20 yards upfield every fucking time. He is a fucking animal. Underrated as a motherfucker for us this year. I mean, everybody's talking about Jalen Richard and these big runs. It's, Cooper's day. But Osamale is a motherfucking madman, and he's a big part of that line. The ability for him to move to left tackle and have Penn move from left tackle to right tackle and kind of bookend the line there and just keep what was, the right tackle position, from falling out like it already fucking was. There's something to be attest to that. But I'm going to pick this game. I'm going to think the Raiders are going to come in. They're going to slam their dick down the Falcons' throat at home. O's going to be rocking. Derek Carr's going to be on it. That defense is already, it's not gelled yet, but they got some kinks to work out, but they're firing. I don't think Khalil Mack is going to have as quiet of a day as he did against the Saints. Bruce Irvin had a bigger day than he did. But let's pick up the Raiders here at 31-21. Raiders win. They're going to advance 2-0. But let's just leave it at that. Thanks guys for tuning in. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I really enjoy doing these videos. I love football. I love sports. I love predicting, and I love ranting and bullshitting, kind of like I'm rambling on right now. But go fuck yourselves, guys. Have a good night. Go Raiders.